Hi, welcome to Wednesday Q&A. I'm trying to be clever and I'm trying to broadcast on two channels at the same time. Hi, this is running simultaneously on my Calm Hypnobirthing page and in the big Facebook group, because that's just typical. Okay, let's put you there. Is to give you an opportunity to ask a hypnobirthing teacher questions about hypnobirthing. We've had a lot of new people join groups, a lot of people join new pages, and you're asking sort of similar questions as we go along. So it's useful to check in on a Wednesday, and sometimes we have guest speakers. So in the new year, we're going to do some work with Rebecca Schiller, who's a doula, the Hackney doula, who works with birth rights, and who else? We're going to work with Gemma Barry next week. So Gemma is joining us next week to talk about being well when you're pregnant, looking after your body. Today I thought it'd be really nice if we speak about bonding with your baby before you birth them. So what are the techniques, what are the things that you could be doing to just connect with that little wriggly person inside you before they're born? Some people are touching and connected with the bump, and others maybe not, and they want some ideas. So I sent a sort of feeler question out yesterday to a few people. And hi Deborah, hi Andy, thanks for joining. I sent a question out yesterday asking people what they might want to hear about. Hi Hannah. And they shared some really useful stuff, and it sort of pertained to this bonding with your baby bump before your baby's here. And so Shirley Stump, who's a hypnobirthing teacher, used to do admin for our hypnobirthing group as well. Works as a hypnobirthing teacher. She is a musician and runs all sorts of really cool sessions with music too and instruments. But she was saying it's very easy for us to forget when we're pregnant, especially with younger kids around, to just take some time to connect when we're pregnant again. And connecting, stopping, checking in on your breath and your baby bump. If you're wondering why I keep gazing over your shoulder, it's because I'm broadcasting on two channels live, and there are two cameras, but they're quite far apart. So give it a go, eh? See if it works. The more people that we can share hypnobirthing with, the more women we can empower about birth, the more birth partners we can make confident, the better the births are going to be, the easier, the better the births are, then the easier the start to parenthood, right? Go figure. So Shirley wants us to check in, and I think it's a really good reminder. So amazingly, you know, women are still out there, they're running the household, maybe they're going out to work full time, maybe they're working part time and mumming another kid, or maybe this is your first baby and you just want an opportunity maybe to go, right, I haven't connected with my kid today, and what's a really nice way of doing that? So touching, singing. Do you sing to your baby? Do you talk to them inwardly? Do you speak to them and have a conversation inwardly? Do you ever keep a journal? So you could keep a journal and write little bits. It doesn't have to be a daily thing, okay? Don't overface yourself. But I think it's useful to have a log, a diary, or something that you contribute to, you write in or you draw in, and you share your ideas, negative, positive, you know, all your feelings. It's easy for some people to process that stuff when you write it down and you share it in that way. And maybe then you can keep on with that journal until who knows when. One of the people I taught, he told me about, the woman's husband told me about his dad. And so this guy had two sisters, and on each of their birthdays, the days they were born, the dad wrote a letter to his new baby, and then it was full of his love and his hope and his aspiration for his baby, and then he would seal that up and he would keep it till their 16th birthday and then share it with them, which I thought was really nice. So you take your antsy 16-year-old out for a walk on their 16th birthday, and then you give them the letter that you wrote to them on the day they were born. That's got to be in there at the all-time most lovely, gorgeous things that you could do. Other ways of connecting in. Deborah, what do you mean use a favour? Use a favour. Help me out. What do you mean exactly by use a favour? Sorry, fiddling with my hair, sorry. On, and thanks for watching. So let's say it's easy to forget, but how about we reframe that and we say it's easier to remember and easier to create a few minutes, even if it's you just sitting down on a sofa or having a lie down, putting your hands on your bump and just holding your hands there, going to your breathing, your calm breathing, and talking inwardly or outwardly to your kid. No matter whether they're a little tiny, teeny little thing ready to grow into a bigger baby or whether they are ready to come out. Yeah, Tracy, the idea of writing a letter to the baby when it's born is just absolutely just gorgeous, delicious idea. Deborah, use a favourite positive birth statement or affirmation. Okay. It didn't finish the sentence. I got it. So your favourite positive affirmations with your baby. So perhaps it would be useful, I think, so I've just had a brain flash. I think it'd be useful to start to give yourself some affirmations, not solely for birthing, but affirmations for being a really good parent, because let's be honest, okay, all of us give ourselves a hard time about, am I good enough mum? Am I doing this right? You know, we all do that, don't worry. It's very normal. It's a part of our self-love. It's us checking in on whether or not, you know, we're doing what we want to do. And to have some affirmations that say, I am enough, I am doing enough, I am a great mum, I am a great father. So Selga wanted to know also how partner and baby things. So if your partner is a fella, or if your partner is a woman, or if you don't have a partner, then this doesn't pertain to you. But if you have a dad-to-be, then what could the dads-to-be do? Andy, ideas. So dads equally can sing a song of the day to the baby. And it doesn't matter if your voice is, you know, charming or like someone's dropping a bag of spanners on the floor. It doesn't matter. You can sing to your kids a different song each day. Connect physically. If you are inclined and mum wants to, then you could do some massage, gentle stroking of the bump, use some coconut oil or something like that. You don't have to go to great expense and buy really expensive massage oils. Massage the bump and talk to the baby. And of course with hypnobirthing there are lots of hypnosis scripts that you could be reading, that you could be practicing. Therefore, you could be reading next to the bump maybe as mum is relaxing and settling into a lovely peaceful state. And I've got so many ideas, but I'm not exactly in flow right now for you. I've got loads of ideas. I like ideas like if there are any siblings or little cousins that you've got, having like some kind of space in the house where you let them do some art on the wall, where you let them create a little bit of something for the baby. Maybe even doing a bit of belly painting, so you get some face paints and you could do some designs on the bump and take some photographs. So yeah, Hannah, really good birth photographer, Hannah Palomara. I loved visualising a golden light going from my heart to my baby. Yeah, that kind of thing. And that connection, heart to baby, it's lovely. And I think babies are really wise as well. I don't think you need to hide stuff from them. I think they're strong and wise, and you can always share the feelings that might be quite big for you. Big, sorry, it's a bit patronising. That's how I talk to my kid about big feelings. But, you know, if you've got complex emotions and you want to work your way through, then sort of share that a little bit with your kid. Start modelling emotional intelligence with your kid now. Most importantly, like having that time to relax and having that time to practice your hypnobirthing relaxation, your breathing, your scripts, having that time, creating that time, making that time is an exquisite attention that you're giving to yourself. So I don't know whether you're somebody who's really good at giving yourself attention, or somebody that has to be sort of like cattle prodded into giving yourself attention and looking after yourself. So those moments where you pause and you connect and you look after your babe and talk and listen and share, I think they're well worth a few minutes each day. I've taught a few women who are on their kind of third baby or maybe even their fourth, and they say this one just doesn't get any attention, and I think that's the time. So maybe your partner's reading you your affirmations, or you're listening to them and your partner's there, and you could just do some massage and stroking and the three of you connecting. Whereas maybe first pregnancy he got loads and loads of time and attention. Maybe further down the line there isn't as much time and freedom to do that, and that's okay, because that's how it is. And I'm going back to what Shirley was talking about, because that's really nice. Shirley was saying, from raising our heart rate through fast walking and getting stressed, we both release adrenaline. But exercise also releases feel-good hormones. Eating healthy food and laughing and making love. These are all things that are easy to forget about with pregnancy and younger kids around and working, etc. So that's basically like a whole workshop right there, Tracy, isn't it? But yeah, it's useful that some of the things that do get forgotten about might be exercising, might be eating well. I've been trying to get a session lined up for you guys with Sam Hadfield, who's a really good nutritionist and exercise person that I know, and I'm going to pin her down and we're going to do one so that you've got some really useful help and advice. Yeah, Shirley, let's do a workshop. I'd really like to do that. Please, can we do that? Let's make that happen. Okay, in your yurt. So, I've just distracted myself. What was I saying? That's the thing about doing Facebook Live. You're in flow and then somebody puts a little comment and you go blip. Well, I do anyway. So, those of you watching on Calm Hypnobirthing UK, hello. I have to do like a call to action for you guys. I have to let you know that there are plenty of opportunities to listen to this voice, to my voice, to the tracks that we've laid down, the affirmations, the Mummy's Confidence Booster tracks, the birth breathing visualization tracks, and if you are Mummy's Gin Fund members, so if you're part of the Mummy's Gin Fund community, there is the whole Mummy's Gin Fund discount code, which is calm birth, no gin. Okay. Any more visualizations, Tracy? What did you find when you were bonding prenatally? Have you had, because Tracy, I know you had a couple of special circumstances with your pregnancy. What did you find that worked really well for you? Deborah, what are a couple of your favourite affirmations of all time? Just plug them in, guys. It'd be really nice to know them. Listen, anybody that's just joining, you can ask a question in the comments. So you just ask and I shall do my best to keep in flow and answer those questions for you. So I think one of the things about having other kids around and wanting to do a bit of prenatal bonding, if you're not painting the bump with face paints or doing any art around the house, maybe you could sing, maybe you can talk to the baby, and perhaps you could keep your journal, perhaps you could start a poem. One of my students, Christine, and I'll tag her in this later, she set up a whole website full of all the letters that mums and dads wrote to their kids and their diaries and their journals. Just totally lovely. I will put a link to her website. It's Christine Lang. I don't know if you want to Google Christine Lang, and then it would be something like mother's I can't remember, mum's journals. So Tracy, I asked you, what did you do in your preggers? And you used to talk to your little boy a lot, and you tell him about the lovely time that you would be having together. Yes. Yeah. All of that kind of thing. Particularly I think not necessarily with just hypnobirthers. So I think hypnobirthers get that pregnancy is you know, it doesn't last exactly 40 weeks. You know, the estimated due date that you get given isn't necessarily the day that your child's going to be born, okay? You need to know this. So from 37 to possibly 43 weeks, a kid can come. That's a huge span of time when a baby can be born, okay? And just having affirmations around that time. If you're lucky enough to be pregnant, you're lucky enough for it to be lasting a little bit longer. So think of in terms of trying to get pregnant and having to wait and month on month, and then finally you get pregnant and everything's good, and it's just like that at the end of the pregnancy. It's that just a little bit longer, just got to wait a little bit longer to meet our baby and talk to the baby about your wishes and your hopes and how you're looking forward to holding them and feeling that bit of skin on the back of their neck. That bit of skin, honestly, is the softest, most delicate thing you'll ever feel in your whole life. And their gorgeous little hands and feet and all of this, all of that. And that keys into imaginings, and it keys into your visualizations. And there's lots of stuff coming through. Shirley wrote a poem. Feel free to share it, Kate, if you want to. And Jenna, hi. Your daily practice of affirmations has your confidence at an all-time high. It works well, right? If fear is creeping up, then I'm being naive, thinking this birth process is too calm, peaceful, pain-free. Any advice for first-time mum? Well, Jenna, I think that there's always a healthy little degree of scepticism, which is, again, back to self-love. I think that I was slightly cynical when I went into birth Fred. Well, when I was labouring at home and went into birth at the last, but I was like, is this hypnobirthing thing going to work? Is this going to work? And when I had my first little wobble with the intensity and the power of the surges, I knew I had a choice. And my choice was panic or use my hypnobirthing stuff. And it worked. And that was when I was like, yep. And I started to enjoy it. It was intense. It was strong. But it worked. That's why we're talking right now. Because if it hadn't, then there's no way I would be like evangelising about it 7.5 years later still, right? I stayed in overnight after birthing Fred at a really good hospital in London, and there were 3 other women in the room. I needed to be kept an eye on because I've got low platelets, which means that I might bleed heavily. I didn't, I was okay. But the 3 other women in the room had not had a really positive experience. They weren't like reveling and really loving it like I was, and I felt slightly guilty. My students, if you're watching, will have heard this, but I felt like I was gloating, and then I got over myself and I was like, I don't know what happened to you, but you know, no matter how a birth goes, you don't have to be shell-shocked. And so that's why I decided to do this, to teach hypnobirthing, because I want everyone to have a really positive start to parenting, and I want the babies to have a calm start to life, right, outside of the womb. And our theme today, in a really corny link back to our topic of the day, is bonding with your baby before they're born. Yeah, Shirley, visualise the first time you hold them and feel that love flood you. Yeah, the cascade of hormones. So have that oxytocin running through you and the endorphins, then that's also passing into the bubs. You know, baby's getting that as well. So, conversation starter. We are 10 minutes in. Brilliant. Simple but effective. Right, Deborah, I asked you for some of your favourite affirmations. I breathe in calmness, I breathe out relaxation. Yeah, it's a classic. It's a brilliant one. Breathing in, focusing on your breath is like the number one. You're asking like, first time mum, am I being naive? I hope the signal's strong enough and you can still be this, Jenna. I think the number one thing to do is go to your breathing. When you're maintaining that breath and you're focused on your breathing, even when your surges are longer and stronger and more powerful and bringing your baby down to birth, that's when your breath comes in essential. It comes in essential like, right, Abigail. It's so true. It worked so well for my second. I chose to stay at home because I was so comfortable, didn't want it to end, and I loved birthing my Freddie and had no pain throughout. Yes! High five. Well done, Abigail. I'd love to have a home birth. I'd love to have another baby, and to be at home would be lush, so I just have to make sure my blood's good enough. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Shirley, could you put a link up to what you do? Deborah, could you put a link up to your business as well so that people can see you? I think this is a good time to do that. Hi, Andy. Who else is on here who's a hypnobirthing teacher? Tracy, come on, show us what you do. Hannah, can you give us a cue to your work as birth photographer and doula if you like, if you're not completely booked up till like next year. Whoop, don't fall off, guys. Okay. Okay, right, next up, last 5 minutes, guys. Shirley, when preparing your meals, practice a few up breaths. Send them down to your baby every moment you can find to connect, and send warm, glowing breath too. Got it? That's nice. That's really nice. So say you're doing a task that you do every day. Practice your breathing, your opening, bring your surge breathing for when your womb's working to open and bring that baby down. Really full breath in through your nose, relaxing your shoulders and your jaw. Releasing and blowing out. Can we read a baby bonding script that you've written that a woman can listen to by herself to help tune into the baby? Yeah, we can definitely read a baby bonding script. I'm trying to think. That's why I think Christine's website would come in really handy, because she has got a whole website full of all the letters and things that new mums and dads have written to their babies, and that might be a really good resource, a good place for people to have a look for some inspiration on ideas. God, I hope her website's still up, because otherwise it's like... thanks for posting. So any of you watching who are birth practitioners, birth workers, could you just put your links in now? I think this is a good place to do that, because on the one hand we're talking on my business page, and on the other we're talking to the hypnobirthing group, and the rules in the hypnobirthing group are very strict, because otherwise it would just turn into a long feed of, hi, I'm a hypnobirthing teacher, hi, I'm a doula from all around the world. And yeah, I know, plug my own stuff. My excuse for that is I've run the group for almost 5 years voluntarily, and it needs to give me a little bit of something back, and I think I'm giving you loads of value for free, so I'm comfy doing that. I think that's a happy medium. But if we're going to allow a bit of advertising, maybe this is the place to do it on Wednesdays, and then there's one thread and people can have a look in, and when they're watching they can learn a little bit about, say for example today, Tracy and Hannah and Deborah and Shirley. Okay. Any other questions from you guys watching on Com Hypnobirthing groups? Anybody else on Mummy's Gin Fund? There was a really nice bit of feedback from Helen, who runs it. So Mummy's Gin Fund is one of our local Facebook mums groups. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you've got something. Sorry, parents group, so exclusive of the dads. It's really useful. It's the smoke alarm. That's my neighbour cooking his lunch. He always burns it. That's how we know he's okay. It should go off in a minute. That's distracted me. What was I talking about, Auntie? Okay, all right. I think that's probably enough ideas on prenatal bonding. I'm going to find that link to Christine's stuff, and I'll also let the group know about being able to share in this thread any of their great ideas or products on a Wednesday afternoon. Thanks, Shirley. It's good to know. You think you know a lot of people that have benefited from the page? Yeah, we had a thread, God, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago, and there was a woman in Australia who I've never heard of saying, you've helped me with both my births, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Christine Lang, Deborah. I don't know if Andy or you could have a Google. I think I'm maxing out our broadband at the moment. Luckily, I think we've been able to go on both channels. Okay, cool. Next week, Wednesday, 1 PM, we have another hypnobirthing question and answer session. You're welcome to come along, and I will be consistently doing it. I'm going to be on call for a birth towards the end, well, the very beginning of February, hopefully, if all goes to plan, to the middle of February. So the only reason why I wouldn't be here is because I'm birth side. Okay, so thanks for joining, everybody. And oh, Jenna, watching comedy videos in early labour, this be good, or would you focus on breathing, be more effective? Jennifer, I'll get to you in a sec. So there's I think, yeah, you could watch the telly in early labour if that's something that you like to do. I personally think it's just like a normal day, isn't it? Just carry on like it's a normal day. You don't need to go on a hike to get it going. It'll come. It'll come. Conserve your energy. Watch something funny. But if it's like 11 o'clock at night, go to bed. I know you must be like really excited. I'm going to meet my baby. I'm going to meet my baby. But just go to sleep if you can. If your surges are still quite far apart, then you can sit up in bed, cross-legged, hold your partner's hands. They know when you're getting a surge, you can give them a little squeeze and just breathe and rest and relax. We're on 2 different broadcasting streams, so that's why I'm kind of doing this, because there are 2 cameras. You're on your 2nd pregnancy, had first at home in water. Any tips to recreate home birth in a hospital? Okay, well, by the way, only going to hospitals, these are surprise twins. Wow, that's cool. Jennifer, have you made friends with the midwives, the ones who've delivered lots and lots of twins over their long careers? Those are the women that you need to hook up with. And I just go and see them as regularly as you can and chat about things. You can still labour at home, presumably, and then go in, or maybe not, I don't know, it depends on your circumstances. And any tips really to recreate the home birth? I think one of my favourite tips is, so from your firstborn, take like their pyjama top so you can nuzzle it and get a good waft of it while you're breathing in your surges. I don't know what specifically made your home birth so special last time, so that's probably a little exercise for you. Get a piece of paper, pen, see what comes. Write this question down. What worked well last time? What would I like to have happen this time? And see if there's any crossovers. Smell is useful, so think of your senses. So the smell, your kid's pyjama top, Jennifer, is totally, you know, you're anchored to so many positive, hopefully, emotions. Visiting where you're going to be birthing, familiarising yourself with the midwives, trying to get some kind of one-to-one care would be really, 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 really good for you and for your birth partner. Doing some work to connect with your little twins. Cool. Okay, that's absolutely brilliant. I hope it's not too far for you to go. And as much as possible fortnightly scans. What worked well also to, right, yeah, so you're going to do a little exercise. We look at what worked well last time, and then what would you like to have happen this time, and crossovers. And please share that with your midwives. And I think we'll ask in the group for some positive twin HB stories, hypnobirthing stories. So for those of you watching on Calm Hypnobirthing UK, please know that you can go to the Calm Hypnobirthing No Bullshit Birth Plan. So that's the online program that you can do, perfect price points. So if you Google Sophie and the No Bullshit Birth Plan, you'll find it. And those of you on Hypnobirthing group, hello, good afternoon. We do this at 1 o'clock. It'll still be here, so you can watch it later. You don't have to be here live to watch it, but obviously if you're here live, then you can join in. Okay, Jennifer, keep in touch. Take care. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to pause there until next week. Bye. Finished. Ching.